All right, everyone, hello, and thanks for hanging out with us at International Student and Scholar Services and some of our other international students. Today we have Harrison, Mark, Mianmian, and Somto with us, and they are going to introduce themselves really quick, and then we'll just get into some questions. So, Harrison, you want to go first?
Sure. Um, so my name is Harrison. My hometown is Shanghai, China, but I moved to Portland, Oregon when I was 12. My major currently is mechanical engineering, but I'm also considering adding computer science. Uh, when it comes to favorite spot to hang out on campus, I would say it's my buddy Elias' room, actually.
Thank you. How about Mark?
Hi, I'm Mark George. I'm from Kandy, Sri Lanka. That's Southeast Asia. I'm currently a sophomore, a rising junior. We'll be studying biomedical engineering and hopefully an engineering management minor. My favorite spot to hang out on campus is probably the MCL, which is called the Multicultural Lounge.
Well, Mian?
Hi, I'm Mianmi. I'm a freshman. I'm from Canton, China, and I haven't decided my major yet, but I want to do Asian study and HOD double major and anthropology minor. And my favorite spot to hang out on campus is the Last Drop Cafe because there's frozen yogurt.
And Somto.
Hi everyone, my name is Somto. I'm from Nigeria. I'm a freshman studying chemical engineering. My favorite spot on campus would be the common center in the night when everyone is studying and everyone has a cup of coffee. But then it's just fun because there's so much life in the room, and then yeah, it's a nice place to hang out.
Thanks, Somto. And I just realized that I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Michelle Kovash, and I am an advisor at the International Student and Scholar Services Office. So we will just go ahead and get started. We have a few questions for our students, just so that everyone can get a great idea of what life at Vanderbilt is like. And so first, I'm going to ask each of you to tell me what was your first week on campus like. Let's start with Mark.
So oh wow, that's like, I can't believe that was 2 years ago. So my first week on campus, so as you move in, you have to check in with the ISSS, so they're like the first point of contact. So I came into the office, and I remember seeing, actually it was two grad students, and his name was, this one grad student from India, and they were super helpful and super welcoming at the ISSS. They made sure that I understood what I was going through registration. They welcomed the family who was helping me move in. So registration it was like an hour long. It was pretty nice. Everyone was so welcoming and nice, and then it was moving into our rooms. So as international students, we move in earlier than the domestic students. So I had help from the family who was helping me move in, but I knew that if I needed help from anyone in the office, they would have definitely helped out with that. My first week on campus, my first friend was actually my RA in my dorm. I actually bumped into him as we were both going to the bathroom, so that was a fun meeting. And since then, the RA was with me basically not really the whole time, but we went out and we got lunch together, and he made sure that me and the other students, the other international students in the hall, at least on our floor, were doing okay. So that was really helpful to know that there was someone there available just to talk with you and to tell you where to go eat. Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks. What about you, Mian?
I remember my first week in Vanderbilt is like very overwhelming because it's like my first time in Nashville, and I remember like every night when I went back to my dorm and talked to my roommate, I said like, oh, I haven't like speak English for such a long time, and I feel like I remember like once the ISS take us to the international world market, and I bought so many snacks in the market, and that helped me survive for the whole semester.
Awesome. Samto?
So the first week, I think one word I used to describe is like hectic. It was a whirlwind of activities. So like we had to, and especially before we began classes, or even when we began classes, we didn't know where all the buildings were, and then we had to ask directions. But everybody was always so helpful, and it felt like they were all like they're freshmen, but then they'll still like answer and tell us and guide us to where we're supposed to get to. And then we had lots of meetings with our VE receptors and our fellow like members. So like a VE receptor is someone who takes charge of like 12 other students, and basically guides them through their first week of campus. And then we had lots of meetings with them, and it just fostered friendship and everything like that. Well, it was fun. It was a fun ride.
Perfect. Thank you. And what about you, Harrison?
So I think the first week was really impressive. I came in, there was the big move-in day. I actually came in on the regular day as all the domestic students. The move-in day was wonderful. You feel the school spirit immediately. I'm nervous too. And then you get, I also went to the ISSS introduction, which was really helpful, gives you a lot of relevant information. I think something worth mentioning is Commons. You immediately set up this community sort of feeling. You feel connected with all the students who are present at Commons. The Uceptor who greeted me on the first day, as soon as I moved in, he showed up magically. I don't know how he found out I was there, but Andrew was great. Helped me a lot throughout the year. So I would say ISSS, the Commons environment, and Visions, which is the Uceptor program, are some of the most helpful things for the first week.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. So can you all tell me about one of your biggest challenges in coming to Vanderbilt and how you dealt with that? And we will start with Somto.
All right, so no, I'm nervous. So I think my biggest challenge is when I came to college, like I knew that I would have to set up my time and how I wanted to make things work. But for some reason, I thought that all the classes, like there'll be time for classes and then there'll be time for extracurriculars and everything will be at least be regimented in that like basic way. But then I came and I found that classes do take up most time and then you have to personally, cut out time for the rest of your activities. Like it wasn't just given to you on a platter of gold. So I think like my major challenge was trying to find out how to manage my time in such a way that I was going for classes and not getting behind in my classes, but also doing the things I love doing and meeting new people and making new friends. And also while trying to still keep sense of who I was and who I wanted to be while looking at the light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah. I would think that was my big challenge at that time.
All right, let's go with Mianmian.
So I think my biggest challenge is the language barrier. It's like when I was in China, I've never spoke English on a daily basis. So here I find it very hard to just like say hello to everyone and to like have random conversations in the elevator. So I find like one thing like I ask for help is the writing studio. I went there like every time I have a paper due, because like the tutor there is like super helpful. They are all like upperclassmen who have very great writing skill and who help me with my grammar, my word choices, and sentence structures. And I sometimes also go to the English Language Center. So it's like the place which offer help for the international students and scholars. They also like offer me help on my like essays and also presentations.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you. Mark, what about you?
I think my biggest challenge started before I came to Vandy. Was there feedback?
You're good.
So my biggest challenge, I think, started before I came to Vandy. It was just the only contact that we kind of had was from the office, and so when classes registration came around and everything, we were just at home super nervous about like what was going to happen and what's going on. And that was when, at least for me and my family, the road to Vanderbilt / the Commons, that was a huge resource for us because it kind of broke down everything we needed to know about the first, like your first moving in and stuff. And then I realized like once we got to Vandy, there were people who were able to just like basically guide me through what needed to happen, at least the main parts that needed to happen. Like my Uceptor, she sent me an email, and I got in contact with her throughout the summer, and that was really helpful to know someone already there at Vandy, who actually met up with me even before moving. Like once I got to campus, she came and met up with me, which is really nice. But like once you get on campus, there will be people to guide you in that certain way, like the ISSS as I told you about, the VIP program that basically has it's basically peer mentorship, similar to VCEP. And once you have like your bearing, once you get to Vanderbilt, I feel the next biggest challenge is what Somto described. Is just trying to find your place here at Vandy, and that itself is a challenge. But yeah, that was my biggest challenge, was the points leading up to coming to Vandy, and then afterwards things will work its way out. Yeah.
Perfect. Harrison, what about you?
I agree with all of the above. I think finding your niche, like Somto and Mark said, is definitely one of the most challenging thing for me. Something I want to add to it is there's a lot of options out there. There's definitely you'll find a lot of options for friend groups. You'll find a lot of options for organizations to join, but despite your interest, they might not be the right ones for you. So you might have to take a while to find the right ones, to try out everything and see where you fit in the best. It might not coincide with your interest or hobby, but then you might find new ones here. So have the courage to kind of reach out and try new things, I would say, is something that a lot of international students find trouble with. So I would encourage all the new students to seek out resources, seek out new opportunities, and just try something new.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so another question. You guys have touched on some of the resources on campus already, but if you can think of another resource that you might want all students to know about, let me know what that is. Let's start with Mianmian.
So I think that one of the most important resources professors, because like when I was back home, I didn't very used to like always talk to my professor or like teachers after class. But here I found out like the professor are very helpful. I remember like talking to my archaeology professor like for hours. Like he told me all about his research, and I asked a lot of questions about like because back then I want to be an archaeologist, and he like provide me a lot of resources I can look on like summer programs. I think it's like really useful.
Awesome, thank you. Samta?
So I'll say like the resource I found very useful was the Center for Student Professional Development. They like, you know, like when I came in, I was very like focused on finding something to do for the summer and like for all the breaks I'm going to do here. So I was like, that's my first point of contact. And so I went there and I began talking to them, and like they help you resume critiques. Even if you don't know where you're coming from or where you want to be, they're like tests that they can help you to take. They'll help you determine what you think you could excel in, and then it's like they just talk with you about your life and how your resume is looking and how you change it, and tell you when things are happening, how you could get internships. It's just been really helpful. I felt that like even just going to talk to them has been like a very has added to the learning curve in Vanderbilt.
Awesome. What about you, Harrison?
I recommend the academic service office for each of the individual schools. So a lot of people know the university registrar exists where the courses are all listed, but actually each school, ANS or engineering, have their own academic service office, and they have a more extensive knowledge of courses that's listed under the school or the new courses that might be added the next year. So if you have any question, you don't know where to start with registering, that's actually what I did. I didn't know where to start with, what classes to start with, so I emailed them. Don't feel like you're emailing them. That's because you're failing classes. They're super nice people to talk to, very knowledgeable of the course system. I definitely recommend going to the academic service.
Awesome, thanks. What about you, Mark?
I would say the ISSS. Don't pay me to say this, but it all starts, I think, with the ISSS. It's like your first point of contact, and then afterwards, once we go through orientation and they tell you about your whole, status here as an international student, people think like, oh, that's it, like that's all they're here for. But the ISSS, they do so much more for the international community here. They come up with so many interesting like events throughout the whole semester and year just to make sure that you guys are doing well, and they're really super interesting. And it's not just for international students. It's basically open for all the other students to learn about international students and different cultures and everything there. So don't underestimate the power of the ISSS. They have a lot to offer, so make sure you get to know them, because they're a bunch of wonderful people, and they're really looking out to make you successful and make you feel at home here at Vandy.
Thanks, Mark. Okay, so I'm going to actually throw you guys for a loop. I know I gave all the questions beforehand, but I'm going to ask you on top of the spot, tell me what your favorite restaurant in Nashville is and why. Let's start with Harrison.
Oh, this one's hard. Um, I'm gonna take Hetty Bees. They have yeah, Mark, I'm really sorry, but I love Hetty Bees. Um, Not only do they have great chicken, they also deliver to campus, which is a great thing. You know, you're hungry one night and you just want some really, really good fried chicken or hot chicken, and they will get it to you within 30 minutes. So that's a plus.
Awesome. What about you, Santo?
So I usually don't eat out, but I was coming back on the trip, on the alternative spring break trip, which is basically like a service trip that you travel to any state in the U.S. for. And then my wonderful site leader said, "Wow, let's go eat out." And we went to this very nice Indian restaurant. It's called Sita, and then it was so cool. The food was really good. I haven't had the chance to go there again, but probably this summer I will go there again because the food was really good. Yeah. So we should
Awesome.
definitely check it out. Hmm.
Their food is amazing. Miao Miao?
My favorite restaurant is Pancake Pantry. It's just like next to the campus, and it's like I really like the French toast. It's like fantastic. But I've ever been there. I've been there for like 2 times because there are always so many people like waiting in line. So.
Yeah, it's one of Nashville's most popular restaurants.
Mhm.
What about you, Mark?
So I was gonna go with Sitar, but I guess Samta already mentioned that one. But before I tell you what, probably my second favorite would be Edley's Barbecue. It's not as close to campus, but it's close enough. So you'll be able to get there pretty pretty decently, I guess. But man, all those choices above, like snaps for that. Those are so good.
Nashville is definitely known for its delicious options for food. All right, so that is all the questions I have for all of you. Do you have any last minute comments any of you want to add in? This is the time to speak free.
Um, I think that like coming to college and everything in general is like it's a big step, and you still keep on growing and developing and challenging yourself as you come to school. So just like come in with an open mind and be rest assured that no matter who you are or what your unique characteristics are, you find a place here in Vanderbilt. Like you find the people want to be around, you find the organizations that work for you, you just find everything. So just be calm. Just keep calm and calm. That's all.
Yeah, I'd just like to kind of go off of that. I just want to affirm and say, college, like some say, is a huge thing, but um, you're like leaving a country and you're coming to a whole new country for your education and for new experiences, and that is a courageous and that's a brave thing to do. But remember, like you're not alone. There have been so many people who have gone before you, who are willing to share their knowledge and their experiences with you. At the same time, you will have the chance to pave your own way for those people who are coming after you. Like there are tons of communities here, which I know you will find a place with. And if it seems hard at first, there will be people who will be willing to become your new community, and it's going to be fantastic, wonderful, and we can't wait for you to be here.
Anyone else? Nice shirt, Mark. All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. If everyone wants to just send one more send off, goodbye. I'll see you later. Thank you so much, and
Bye.
it'll be you. Bye, everyone.